These moments are 1 in a billion. You won't ever see this again. When you're too cheap to pay for boat ramp hire, all you need is the beach, a few friends, and some logs to do the trick. No, this isn't the inspiration for Angry Birds. This slingshot is the preferred method of passing items between big ships. Normally a spin like this is the end of your race, but this guy just kept going. That moment you don't score a goal, but you hit an even more impressive target. Luckily, he was wearing a helmet. This guy has superhuman hip flexors, which allow him to jump unnaturally high. After this fastball was fouled, everyone had to watch the slow-mo replay to figure out where the ball ended up.
What happened?
I have no idea what's going on here, but how on earth did the door land like that? At first I was going to warn everyone about the dangers of ladders, but this is no fail video. Despite the ladder collapsing, this man landed without a scratch. This guy's been practicing his free kicks, and I think he's nailed the accuracy perfectly. This blindfolded ninja proved she doesn't need sight to be clinical with a pair of nunchucks. With just a flick of her wrist, no target is too small. When charging your phone gets boring, spice it up a little with some flips. When you've been practicing this one move for so long that even your hat knows the drill, you sure that's real? This rapper was lucky enough to be on a stage when this magical moment happened to him. At least he had the option to keep his hat the second time round. This guy might be injured, but that mind of his is working overtime.
Nice.
It might be a fun game of football, but things still get serious, especially when a blocked pass ends up in the hands of someone who couldn't believe their luck. This snowboarder's aiming for the biggest jump on the mountain and even somehow manages to stick a failed landing for the perfect recovery. It's not just yourself you gotta worry about when skateboarding, there's innocent bystanders too. This factory worker turned up to yet another boring day of loading the freight elevator. Although today, something was different. He just couldn't quite put his finger on it.
What happened?
This kid thought he'd throw an orange at his friends as a joke. Little did he know that he's a practicing ninja with the reflexes of a cat.
Nice.
When the sign says no skating, and they mean it. This girl thought she'd try out the technique she saw earlier in this video, only she wasn't as lucky. You might be cool, but you'll never be as cool as John Coffey, who simultaneously crowd surfs while catching a beer that was thrown at him. If you ever manage to capture a moment of pure brilliance on camera, make sure you follow it up with a little pose that says, "I totally meant to do that." This pitching machine's great for catchers to train their reflexes, because you never know when a sneaky double play is coming through.
What happened?
If you've ever wondered why your Amazon package is always late, maybe it's like this box caught in an endless loop of monotony. These guys added their own obstacles for the most awesome mini golf trick shot ever. This right here is the very definition of falling into place perfectly. He wouldn't be able to do that even if he tried. This snowboarder isn't flying, he's falling with style. When this race car driver had to pull out of a race, his rear wheel wasn't quite ready to quit just yet. If you're gonna fall off your skateboard, at least have a soft landing ready nearby. Have you really done the bottle flip challenge if you haven't landed one on your dad's head? In this family, no one has time to put on swimming caps. That is, unless your dad has an aim like this. If Nokia made TVs, this would be the result. I'm not saying this cat's evil, but there's definitely some dark forces at play here. This video teaches a very important lesson. If the ball doesn't want to go in, it's not going in. I'm not sure who the lucky one is here, the guy who wiped out on his board or the girls he nearly crashed his board into. This pair's perfect timing is almost too fast to appreciate. They almost couldn't believe it themselves. Some days you go out to find fish. Other days, fish go out to find you. Call this luck, call this skill, but this driver somehow prevents his trailer from tipping onto oncoming traffic. This guy has to be the first to land this kind of shot. No cap. Cap, you know what I mean. This is the guy you want on the baseline of your volleyball team. That spike was pinpoint perfect. Not only does this guy smash a ball way out of the park, but his nonchalant over-the-shoulder bat toss straight up defies physics.
Oh my god.
On a windy day, is this guy the luckiest guy you've ever seen? Or did this dash cam just capture some real-life magic? This batter thinks he's about to hit a home run. Little does he know, that pitcher's actually Peter Parker. In Australian rules football, you gotta play no matter what wildlife joins you on the pitch. That includes pigeons that don't always get out of the way. Tubing down an icy hill sounds like fun, until you hit a few bumps at speed, that is. What's even more impossible than landing a no-look, over-the-shoulder full-court shot? Having it do this instead. This farmer's cows are just a little excited about breakfast. This guy had no idea just how close he came to being flattened by a falling tree. The broken branches fell just inches from his head. It's a well-known fact that carnival games are rigged, so if this kid can walk away with a stuffed toy, I'll be impressed. Studying Federer's impossible shots might help you prepare mentally, but it's probably not going to be enough for you to win a Grand Slam. This guy's about to pull off the world's biggest self-own. With only 2 cups remaining, he's going to be the laughingstock of his frat for months. After scoring a brilliant try, this rugby player's celebration is a piece of subtle brilliance. He looks like he throws the ball away only to catch it seconds later without even looking. What looks like an everyday football blunder is actually the most incredible goal of all time.
Nice.
Kids do the water bottle flip challenge. Grown men do the tree trunk into a hole challenge. No matter how mad this lady gets, she can't seem to do any meaningful damage. Even her property destruction is considerate. Hitting the gutters is common, but for the first time in history, it actually benefited someone. Hey, a strike's a strike. This college football match was coming down to the wire, but a field goal attempt in the closing seconds did everything it could not to go over. When you've got no friends, you get really good at playing with yourself. Really good. After a full 90 minutes, it can come down to just a few penalty shootouts. But when you've got a goalie this cocky, anything's possible. When you've got to practice your acrobatics and wash your hair at the same time, maybe take some lessons from this guy. One of the most clinical plays of the season was when Ryan Smith accidentally caught a pass intended for him and crossed the line for a brilliant touchdown. This kid's lucky the feng shui in his house is good, so he can capture an insane trick shot like this. At those kinds of speed, that recovery shouldn't have been possible.
Oh my god!
This real-life Gambit has been honing his card-throwing skills for years. Thankfully, it's paying off. Sometimes the universe just has your back. I'm not sure how much of this was luck or skill, but I gotta see it again. This pitcher didn't even have time to think before snapping a lazy left-handed catch. Now that's fielding like a boss. Axe throwing isn't for everyone, so when this guy's technique needed a little fine-tuning, he decided to think outside the box. They say there's no such thing as a pointless talent. See if you agree after meeting the world record holder for spinning a basketball on a guitar.